How you perking? I hope you perking good. So, big topic here going on with the New Jersey drones or whatever. And everybody being like, what are they? Why are they? Can we know answers somewhere from somebody? So, we've actually tackled that here on the channel on Friday the 13th here, December Friday the 13th. We took a look at this, did what was supposed to be a mini reading during our live stream together. So, went live, we were interacting with each other, decided to do the reading on that. It went longer than a mini reading and ended in a way where I'm like, might have to do an actual addendum to this or something, like ask some more questions. So actually, while I was re-watching what we did on the live stream together, I started jotting down some notes of the things that I saw that were coming up about predictions relative to the drones there in that reading, and then things that are still some lingering questions that could get looked into. I was writing it down on a napkin. Anybody else just eat and think about things and you're just starting to write shit down on napkins? Yeah. Same. So today I figured, for everybody curious about what they are, why they're around, what's going on, that today I would go ahead and share the footage that already happened there in the live stream last Friday on the 13th, and then we'll meet back here for me to answer a couple of little remaining questions. I'm not going to go too deep. That was already a long reading. I don't want to go like a million years here on this, but I do want to check in with a little bit extra here so we can kind of try to cover our bases. So, to get all into it, I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and in these videos we take a look at the tea with the tarot. Don't freak out and run away yet. Got a good track record here on the channel, including that one of the things that came up in the video has already come true. So one of the things in the video was how I was talking about basically what the government was going to explain that these things were, and how we were supposed to take that with a huge grain of salt. Yeah, there has since that recording now been a formal government response about what these things are, and I think people have some feelings about that. So we're going to get into that as well here. But without further ado, I reckon Penelope and I, and our little matching reds here, we'll just go ahead and turn it over to the 13th bee, the bee that has already gone through this with y'all in the live stream on Friday the 13th. At the time of filming this addendum here right now, it is Wednesday, December the 18th. So almost a week ago is when this portion that you're about to see was filmed. So if you were there on the live stream and you don't want to watch this part again, feel free to fast forward past it till we get to the part where we're about to look at some more questions. If you missed it or you want a refresher, then stay tuned and see what came up there. And just a reminder, it was live, so I might be talking with some people in the quote-unquote audience, some viewers, because it was live. But yeah, let's just go ahead and see where that went. Let's go ahead and do a mini reading on the New Jersey drone stuff. So, as I get shuffled up, here's what I know about it. I know that many different commenters, every time I'm checking my comments for other videos, have been saying, please read on the New Jersey drones. Why the hell are there drones flying over New Jersey? So, I know that's going on. I also know that apparently there are government officials looking into it and trying to figure it out. And I also know that they have said We don't know what it is. We don't really have answers for this. So that's what I know. I have not read any, like, I guess, I haven't read anything that people think is what's going on. I haven't read any quote unquote conspiracies about what people think is going on. I don't know. So this is going to be fairly cold, I guess. I mean, it's cold anyway, because who really does know what's going on? Nobody. So, I mean, I guess this is cold for all of us. So, I like to always let people know what I do and don't know ahead of time so that they can see how cold or lukewarm I am reading, and people feel better about knowing that ahead of time for whatever reason. So here we go. Let's take a look at this. What can we know, spirit guides, about what is going on with this? What's going on with these drones over New Jersey? What is this? What's going on? What can we know? What are we allowed to know here about this? Let's just see. And again, I'm going to try to do a mini reading on this. I'm going to try to not have this take eternity, because I was going to aim for this to be a briefer live stream today, if I could help it, so that I could do the work stuff that I need to get done. I have work reporting to do, end of year reporting, fun stuff, right? But we'll see. Obviously, I'd rather be with y'all pulling cards and hanging out. Let's go ahead and take a sip, because some of these cards are pretty intense. All right. And just to see what y'all are saying ahead of time, Donnie Danko says November 18th is about when they started getting everyone's attention. So almost a month now. Wow. And Rosanna says this footage looks serious. Allie says the whole drone thing sounds like what me and family saw when we were coming back home from a vacation in June. Wow. The Salazar says the drones are now in San Diego too. What the hell? And yeah, Vixie Blaze is looking at the cards going, oh dear. Yeah. Some of these cards are a little bit oh dear. So, obviously this is deeply, deeply hidden. We have our Hermit card in reverse, like deeply hidden. And so it looks like that is intentional, that this is a deeply hidden mystery for a reason. Now, with the Knight of Cups upright and the Judgment card in reverse, it's interesting that they are making it seem like there are people that are genuinely not in the know, genuinely trying to figure this out. And so they're, you know, if they're saying, hey, I don't know, but I'm going to figure this out for you and get information for you, that can be trusted, that they're being genuine about that. And the Judgment card in reverse, you know, having that lack of judgment, that lack of awareness, not knowing, that looks true too, that most people who are saying, I don't know what this is, that's actually real. That most people don't know what this is. So I feel like whenever you get situations like this, sometimes, at least for people like me, I'm like, bullshit, I bet somebody out there knows what the hell's going on and they're just hiding it or something like that, because I've gotten to a place where I don't put anything past anyone anymore. You know, we've seen it all. So anything could be possible is kind of where my mind goes on something like this. But this really seems like for real, most people really don't know what's going on. Now, this is where things are getting a little bit like, you know, with Vixie Blaze putting the oh dear down here. 10 of Swords upright, Moon card in reverse, King of Wands in reverse. This, to me, does feel a little bit concerning. Not gonna lie. Because 10 of Swords card is a card, you know, it's a card about painful endings, backstabbing, betrayal, trouble, you know, bad things happening to people, having to end things whether you wanted to or not. It's just not an easy card to go through. This is the kind of card that would show up in times like breakups, or, you know, when people, you know, kind of pass away, or when people throw somebody under the bus and screw them over, or, you know, when some funding gets cut and people get let go of a job, or, you know, things like that. That's the energy that this card brings. The energy that the moon card brings in reverse next to it is weird, dark things up and out, a purging of sorts of dark things. So this is kind of like, if there are things that are happening, quote unquote, in the dark, and in this case, I guess literally and figuratively, that those things are coming up and out. So it looks like people weren't really supposed to notice these things in general. That it was supposed to, I don't know, fly under the radar, not be noticed, you know, kind of thing. There was not an intention for this to be noticed. Whatever this was intended to be very clandestine, very quiet, very, nobody knows about this, nobody sees, nobody asks questions, keep it shh, kind of thing. That it's supposed to be like that, but it is not like that anymore. Obviously, certain people take notice, then more people take notice, then more people take notice, then you start sounding alarms and people start looking into things. Things are eventually, you know, start coming up and out bit by bit by bit. And so I do see an unveiling of sorts, things coming out. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean things coming out quickly or thoroughly. It could just mean kind of giving us some breadcrumbs, some kind of a way, or it could mean giving us a cover story for something that's actually happening. So I don't know right now how much I would trust things coming up and out. So if and when we do start seeing some information come out about it, hold your horses on how you take that information just yet. I wouldn't full force trust it just yet. I'm not trying to tell people to be paranoid about what they hear about it. It just feels incomplete or a bit covered. So just hold, you know, just pause on whatever comes up and out about it. Just wait a second before you fully take that on, kind of thing. King of Wands in reverse right next to it makes me wonder, because this, you know, it's referring to some divine masculine energy, so some person, probably a guy. This is a card that has been coming up lately in our more recent readings for Trump. But I don't know why it would be coming up here for him. So I don't know, you know, it may not be anything about him. It just felt like I needed to mention that, hey, by the way, in recent readings, this card's been coming up for him, and in the reverse position a lot, as in, you know, things are risky related to him. Like, there's been a lot of that's been coming up in previous readings, in recent readings. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention that here, though I don't know of anything here that ties him into this. But I'm about to pull some more on it in just a second. Hydrate. Let's see. So I'm gonna try to keep this at a mini reading. What else, if anything, are we allowed to know about this drones over New Jersey situation? Okay. Don't get weird about the card position. Just read the shit. Okay. This is my overseas card, and overseas as in I'm here sitting in the States. So overseas means, you know, foreign to us kind of thing. But I feel like I said, I haven't read and heard anything on this, but I feel like I've seen a headline or something somewhere being like, this is not a foreign entity involved. So I feel like people have said that before, or I saw a headline or something saying, no, nothing foreign involved, but this is a card I get for foreign stuff. So, so those things don't make sense together. What I think I saw in a article header versus what this card is indicating here. So there's that discrepancy. Take that as you will, based on what we're seeing compared to what they're saying. Justice card in reverse. The Justice card is about fairness, balance, legality. With it coming up in reverse, that's not a great sign, because that means illegal shit's going down, or shit that is at least not balanced, not fair, not okay, something that we would either legally or morally take issue with. So there's something about this drone situation that we would legally or morally take issue with. And I don't like seeing that. 7 of Cups upright. This is kind of a mixed bag. And it's quite literally a mixed bag of different things in the sky, which makes me feel like not everything that has been spotted is this. So, you know, like, if people start hearing, here's a thing to look out for, and then you're looking for it, everything you see, you're thinking, oh, this is going to be a thing. This is the thing. I think I'm seeing it. You know, just like if somebody says, I spotted a Bigfoot in that forest over there, suddenly you're going to get a lot of reports of everybody spotting that Bigfoot in the forest over there. Are they all really spotting a Bigfoot, or do some of them think they're seeing a Bigfoot? They're being, you know, in good faith about reporting seeing one, but what they actually saw wasn't really that. They mistook it for Bigfoot because they were hoping to see it, thinking they were seeing it, looking for seeing it, kind of thing. And that's what this flavor is giving. Not everything in the sky that we're seeing is one of these things. So it feels like that's a sense of, you know, mistaken identity type of thing with some of this stuff. So I don't know how much of this is really going on versus how much of this is people, you know, thinking they're seeing one and it's not that. But it seems like there's a bit of a mixed bag here with that. So take that in mind, that it may not be quite as prevalent as some people say, or quite as many of these things as people say they see, or whatever. But that doesn't mean that the original stuff doesn't exist and isn't happening. They've already been talking about that. So they're certainly not invalidating the fact that there are these things that exist that's happening. So this is kind of intense. Trying to keep it at a mini reading, but realizing this might be something that could have its own actual, like, full-fledged reading, because this seems to have more moving pieces than I thought. Like, I thought that they were going to be like, it's aliens, or it's the military, or it's the government, or it's China, or it's, you know, just say something or whatever. But I guess, as usual, they're saying quite a bit of nuance here around it. So let me do it this way. Let me pull this up, and just for expediency's sake, but also to kind of get a little bit more insights here, let's just do a quick few rule outs or things like that. So, you know, in terms of the idea of Could this be aliens versus could this be, a foreign adversary versus could this be United States military, top secret, confidential? Could this be XYZ? Let's see if we could just do a quick 3-card thing and just see if maybe we're allowed to know what type of direction this flows into. Perchance. Let's see. Why are we getting that again? And what the fuck here? Okay. I guess I should say all alleged just my interpretation, yeah? I guess I should have just said that, from the start of this. So, in terms of this, I'm not really getting the alien vibe from what we've seen here in this 3-card pool and what we've seen already. I'm just not really getting a vibe that these specific things are extraterrestrial. That doesn't mean that we haven't seen ET type craft at some point in time or whatever. It just, in terms of what we're asking about right here, right now, I'm not really seeing that. We did a little while ago in the other read get that 6 of Swords card that makes me wonder about overseas stuff. Why is my nose itching all of a sudden? My God. Suddenly my nose is itching like crazy. Must be a reason for that. And I don't think it's like pet dander floating in the air. I think that there's like something going on here about that. Might look into it. I don't know. But anyway, trying to not get distracted by that. We did see the 6 of Swords card that kind of indicated some overseas type stuff, air quotes, which makes me wonder. But they're not necessarily giving a repeat overseas type of thing here. What they are repeating here is our reverse King of Wands card again. Y'all saw, I pulled up all the cards. Y'all saw, I shuffle like I do a full this type of thing, shuffle several times, and in between each card that I pull, I do like this kind of shuffle. This dude came up again. So there's something going on with this dude. Again, it may be referring to Trump. This may actually somehow be about Trump, and I don't understand or know why. It may. It could also be someone else, though. Just because this card has come up for Trump in a lot of recent readings, yeah, that's going to make me wonder if that's about him here, but it's not enough for me to say guaranteed that's exactly who this is identifying. I think that would be us jumping the gun just a little bit. I think we need to kind of keep an open mind that this could mean some other type of divine masculine energy. Divine masculine energy can be, in a woman's body. You can be a woman with a very, very masculine leaning energy, but it's most likely that this card is referring to a guy. It's in the reverse position. So in terms of some dude that is either doing bad shit or is at a strong disadvantage and at risk, or both, because both things can be true at the same time. This 9 of Swords upright, something this is freaky, this is negative, this is not good. So for people to have a weird, like, unsettled feeling about it, concerns about it, that makes sense. I see that there's quote unquote reason to, not reason to necessarily for all of us as, people, individuals, civilians, whatever we're called, regular citizens. But that whatever this stuff is with the drones, there is some sort of at least quasi-nefarious type purpose around it. I don't see that it's necessarily targeting us, but that whatever it is, it's not great intentions. There is something quote-unquote negative behind it. High Priestess upright. This is a very interesting card to get in this pool for trying to kind of find out, who or what it's about. I have an idea, but I'm just going to get a context card on it just in case before I misspeak. this is the divine feminine match to this divine masculine energy here. King of Wands, Queen of Wands. So this is the divine feminine match. Very interesting. And the High Priestess is kind of illuminating things with higher knowledge, going above and beyond. So this is kind of making it seem like whatever the entity is that is responsible, my nose is going to itch again, that is responsible for these drones is something that kind of goes between multiple sides here. So, how do I put that? So what that kind of means to me here, I'm trying to think of the best way of trying to explain that is, you know, let's say, here, let's do it this way. Let's say, like, here's some good guys, here's some bad guys. These people over here are neither good guys nor bad guys, don't have a horse in the race. They're just, you know, overseeing this stuff. You know, that kind of middleman type feeling. Whatever is going on here, there's some sort of a middleman energy to it. So yeah, whatever they're intending is kind of negative, is kind of not great, but they are, it's like a third person observer type of thing. So like if, say, you know, we are contracting with you, an independent entity, to do this thing for us or something. There's some kind of if this feels independent or you know, not explicitly connected with something, or explicitly, you know what I mean? How do you describe this? I'm trying to use the best words I can think of. I don't know how else you say this. It feels independent, like it's contracting, I'm using that word loosely, with something sent by or on behalf of a certain entity, but it's private, it's independent, it's, you know, something like that. It's somewhat separated from whatever the source is that it would be responding back to. You know, the information that it collects or has, it is not for them, it's for whoever they're accountable to, that kind of a thing. So there's something separate here. Here's a quick question. It's saying that for real, there are a lot of people that really don't know about this. So when they're saying we don't know what's going on, that really is true for the most part. Are there people here in the States, like, you know, that really do know what's going on and they're just not saying? Like, is it some kind of that there are some people that, like, know all the classified information at the top tier and they know what's going on and they have an eye on it, you know, but they just can't say that with anybody that's below them or something? Like, I just want to know, is there somebody on our side here in the States that does actually know? Or are we serious that literally nobody knows anything for real? I just, you know, that's just something that I find kind of difficult. Okay. So the way this looks is, it does look like that for real, nobody knows literally without a doubt with 100% certainty about this. It does look like for real, our government, our military, our whatever our officials are for real incompetent enough that they don't know with 100% certainty what's going on. However, once again, this card stands for a couple of things, two of which being communication and traveling / overseas. So again, I'm getting communications and traveling overseas energy. I've gotten that twice here in this. And so it's coming up here again. And then this is a mixed bag of options. So it looks like people that maybe have the resources or way to figure this out, let's say our top tier people, that they have some sort of ideas based off of some sort of communications and stuff that they have. So maybe intel or stuff like that. I don't know. That they have some ideas, but they don't with 100% certainty absolutely know exactly what this is. They have ideas, but they don't have like surefire absolute proof, I absolutely perfectly know kind of thing. I don't know how I feel about that. This is wild, y'all. This is wild. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing. Alrighty, so I know that y'all just sat there and watched so much of the live stream that you probably already forgot that we were a part of a bigger video here. And it probably feels weird to piece the two together, but we're back. We're back together here. So for me to recap on my handy dandy napkin here, I wrote down that some of the big takeaways from what we just saw there in the video was that this is deeply hidden mystery for a reason, a deeply hidden mystery for a reason, that many people truly don't know what's going on. And again, all this as of December 13th, when that reading was happening, December 13th, that whatever is going on is kind of bad / negative / nefarious, legally or morally. And, I was getting that it's not truly aliens or extraterrestrials in any kind of way. And I was getting some kind of a weird independent or contracting type energy. So being that those were kind of the major cliff notes, takeaways from that segment there, I was like, okay, time to look into some new questions. Some questions to piggyback on what we were looking at there. So the funny part is, when I was watching that, the first question I wrote down was, why are we not supposed to trust any official explanations? Like, you know, the official stuff that they were going to say, hey, this is what it is. How come we're not supposed to trust that? Why were we supposed to give that a grain of salt, is what I wrote down. And interestingly enough, then when I wrote that down, when I had that question, the very same day is when the White House issued a statement about, hey, this is the explanation for the drones stuff. And if I have a clip of some news site somewhere mentioning what it was that they claim it is, I'll put that in right here.
We have done some analysis over the last several days. That analysis, right now, our assessment leads us to conclude that these are lawful and legal aviation activities, manned and unmanned drones and civil aviation aircraft or commercial aircraft.
Yeah, so I no longer have the question, why are we not supposed to trust any official explanations? Because I feel like we already have the answer to that. That's the official explanation. Do you trust that? Do you think that that's what it is? Like, oh, hey, Teddy, walking in. It's just, you know, hobbyist drones, it's commercial drones, it's normal manned aircraft, it's, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, okay, really? You know, you really. So we've already got the answer to that question. Don't need to ask that. And as I'm saying this here, like I was doing this because my nose started itching, and that reminds me that my nose was itching in that reading on the 13th. And I swear I don't have an itchy nose every time I sit down to do this. And my nose wasn't itching anywhere else, and there's nothing here in this particular room that should make my nose itch when it doesn't itch anywhere else. So I'm gonna actually look that up just real quick. I'm just gonna grab my phone. Spiritual significance of an itchy nose. Let's just see for shigs. What does it say? Okay, so of course there's lots of different things that have come up here. I'm just going to read the first ones and see where it takes us. So first one's here at the top. It says, why is my nose itchy spiritually? An itchy or bewitched nose is a positive spiritual sign. It indicates the presence of spiritual gifts such as wisdom, knowledge, faith, healing, ... Okay, interesting. And then the next thing that it says is visitor coming, that someone may be on their way to see you, or gossip or talk about you, indicating people gossiping or discussing you behind your back. So 3 very interesting takes on why my nose was itchy then and now again. Wow. So our other questions, though, I guess I'll just keep itching while it's going, and whoever's coming or talking about me, or, if this is my wise gifts, then okay. But I also wrote down, like, why do so many people not know what's going on? Like, I'm talking about, higher ups. Why do so many higher up folks not know what's going on? And why was there some sort of an independent contractor type of energy coming up? Also, why was there some kind of overseas type energy coming up? And then the last question I have here is that somebody had asked me in the comments. They said, I heard that they are looking for WMDs or nukes or something radioactive or something like that. Are they looking for something like that? So I've got various questions here that I want to dig into together to piggyback off of what we just saw. And I'm going to try to hope that this second part won't take too terribly long because I don't want this to be a really, really long video, but I do want to be thorough because this is a wild topic here. So I'm going to move this microphone right here. Yes, and yeah, I shouldn't be surprised that this is a wild topic because remember in our December predictions video, whenever it said December was gonna be extra and different, it was gonna be like a month full of like, okay, you're just doing the most, aren't you, kind of month, but in a very different way than normal. I'd say having weird drone activity and the government not telling us what it is and all of that is pretty extra and different. All right. Teddy's licking the wall back there. Do you see Teddy on the middle of the couch licking the wall? Yeah. I let him take off his cone. He's been wearing a cone for 3 weeks from his eye surgery, and I let him take off his cone for his S word, SUPPER, dinner. I don't want to say it and him be like, oh, I think he gets a second one. So I took off his cone so that he could eat. And I thought my husband was going to take him outside and put his cone back on and do all that stuff. Well, apparently he didn't get to him before he snuck in here and started licking. And I bet my husband's too scared to come in here. Get your ass down off the back of that couch. TT. Mayhem. Fine. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's keep watch. Let's make sure that this boy doesn't do anything wild back there. It's just enjoying his newfound little brief moment of freedom outside of his cone because he's been stuck in it for 3 weeks and he's only just recently been able to take it off to eat and drink and stuff like that. So he's having a good old time back there being like, yeah, I don't have a cone. I can lick these walls. I can explore new heights on the couch back there and just lick the walls. Yeah. Anyway, All right, spirit guides, angels, archangels, light beings surrounding us now, spirit of God and my higher self, please assist us in the sacred co-created process of pulling cards for the highest good of all sentient kind. Please help us to read the most accurate cards and in the most accurate ways. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. Got my black salt here for protection as always, and my lovely amethyst here for calming and higher vibrations and all of that good stuff. So let's go ahead and dive in here to why do so many people not know what the hell's going on? And I know why we don't know what's going on, but like people at the higher levels, why do they not know what's going on? And to encourage trying to do this quickly, I'm just going to do sets of 3. Okay. I'm too encouraged to do this quickly. Yeah, I see that. I see that card. I see that card as my nose itches. Let's go ahead and get a context card on it because I know everybody's going to want to. Okay. So in other words, why so many people don't know what's going on? Because there are people that are not meant to know what's going on. There are probably very, very few at all that have some sort of knowledge about what is going on, because this is the truth. So that's very few that do have the knowledge. These are not meant to know, and it's because if this knowledge was made known to everyone, enter the chat Tower card. It would make the entire tower fall. It would be a huge thing. It would become a huge thing. And the context card on that is the High Priestess card. It would become a huge thing because it would showcase this weird juxtaposition between the light and the dark. It would showcase things that whoever may know about this is feeling like they don't want other people to know about this, as he knocks pillows off the couch. Genuinely, you're making it difficult to film right now, son. He knocked the pillows off the couch so he could lick the couch. Whatever. So I feel like I'm even being distracted from doing this reading right now. So it's like here I'm, have something coming up about my nose itching because of some sort of, major wisdom and people possibly, listening and watching me or something. And so I've got that, and then I've got these distractions going on behind me as I'm trying to read here about how few people are meant to know about this and why, and how it would become a really, really big deal if more people did know. So there's something going on here that I would think is quite a big deal, quite serious. Like, you don't get all these weird things happening for no damn reason. You just don't. So like, what, just to go a little bit further in this, I know it's not one of my questions on my list, but what would the tower moment be if we did find out the truth about what was going on? Why would that be a tower moment, pray tell? Because there's actually a lot of things that are kind of tied into this. Like, it's not that simple. That's kind of once you open that door to a huge can of worms. So it's not just learning one thing. You open that door to peek in, and now you're learning a lot of different things. And it's things that are not just, okay. So remember the overseas energy that was coming up? Here we see some overseas energy again. This is a card that can sometimes be like, an international or global type of card. So there would be things that we would be learning that would be beyond just New Jersey, beyond just the United States. Would be learning something that would have international implications. So and that was one of my questions here too, is like, why were we seeing overseas energy come up if all of these official stories keep saying this is not a foreign adversary, there's no foreign, thing involved with this? Then why does that keep coming up? Because some kind of a way, learning what this would be would have international implications. So that makes me wonder if it's like there's the only tiny few people that might really know what this is or have a guess as to what this is. They might not all be just United States people. There might be, others. Just pulling. Yeah, that we wouldn't be able to handle it overall. And our Empress card upright. Interesting to see that there, because it's about planting seeds. Why would they give me a card about planting seeds? Because the more we would know, it would plant seeds within our minds in a way that we would be like, fuck this, I'm walking off, I'm leaving this behind, screw this, or whatever. So does that mean like we would not be as controllable anymore? Because we'd be like, well, now that we know that, to hell with y'all kind of thing. And we wouldn't be nice, easy to control little people anymore. Like we would just rise up or something. We would like usurp everything or something. Like, are they afraid of what we would do to them and what they could lose if we knew stuff? This, to me, I'm not kidding. Like, the picture that they're giving me in my mind is kind of the whole, the old Wizard of Oz movie, where it's like everybody thinks it's this great Wizard of Oz, but you pull back the curtain and it's just this, crickety old man or whatnot that really has no major control or power, and it's actually kind of pitiful. There's some vibe of that vibing here about like we can't know, because I guess there's more of us than there are of quote unquote them. Gotta do all alleged, just my interpretation. I don't know how many times I may have done that in a live stream, but I gotta do that now. Okay. Interesting. All right, so let me pull this up, and looking at my little list of napkin stuff here. Yeah, so the whole independent energy or contractor energy or stuff like that kept coming up, like, what does that mean? What is that in reference to? Like, why was it saying that? And again, trying for brevity here. Y'all, for fuck's sake, we're getting this card again. So remember, this card came up during the live stream. It's come up in the past in recent readings pertaining to President-elect Trump, former President Trump. Don't know if it's coming up for him again here some kind of a way, but it just is weird that this card does keep coming up. Could mean somebody else, but I just find it sus that this particular card comes up, because if they were wanting to mean somebody else, couldn't they have given me any of the other kings in the deck? I mean, we have several other kings we could talk about and put out there, but we keep putting this one out there. So there's something that, again, keeps revolving around him. Don't know why that is here, but it does. Star card upright, Knight of Swords upright. What's interesting about this, a knight, okay, so let's think about it this way, and I'm trying to be good with my words here, because, it's YouTube and blah, blah, blah. Knights are usually sent out by, certain authorities or whatever in old times, old medieval times, you know, with monarchies and this and that, it was like there would be a king that would be in charge of sending all the knights out to fight their battles and this and that and the other. So, you know, a Knight of Swords can be kind of the worker bees that do the bidding of those at the top. So there does seem to be some sense of, like, you know, a worker bee energy, which might be what is independent or contracted, maybe having some sort of third party or third parties that do the worker bee stuff can be a little bit of a layer between, you know, what's going on and the ones behind it all. Because think about this. And okay, I know I'm getting like deep into this. I'm just saying what is coming to my mind as I'm reading these things. But you know how when there's people that are, you know, business people or something, and then they have companies, and those companies have companies and like LLCs and corporations and and they have all these different things, so that, you know, if they were ever to get sued, the LLCs or the corporations or the other things could absorb that and you wouldn't come at the person directly. You know, there's kind of a protection in being, you know, beyond this, beyond this, beyond this, beyond this. And the same with this whole idea of independent or contracting. It's like, if there's a source that you're accountable to, then that is, you know, the end of the caboose there. But they would be able to say, oh, that's not our people, that's not our stuff, because it's not. It's somebody that that's independent, or that they've, you know, contracted with, or that they're associated with, or that, you know, whatever, but it's not them. So they're able to be honest and say it's not us, when that's not completely honest. And my nose is starting to really itch again. So there's something here that feels like that, like, yeah, something independent or contract type energy to obfuscate the actual accountable source. So putting that out there as well, weird. And I don't know why then this would revolve around Trump, because if he is not currently the president, it's not like he, I would think, maybe I'm wrong, would have the power to set this in motion, unless he's supposed to be like affected by this, on the receiving end of this or something. I don't know. That weirds me out. I don't know. Another thing that weirds me out is the star card, because clearly when we were looking at the stuff in the reading there during the live stream, it was giving off the I don't see this as alien or ET vibes. My star card, though, is usually a card that I would get for alien or ET type stuff, because it's among the stars. So I want to see where they're going with this, because I want to see, are they going with something else and taking us down a different path, and this card just happens to go there? Or is there something about that topic that they're wanting to bring up here? Magician card. Okay. I don't even need to explain to you what magicians do. They do magic tricks. Look at this. I pull a rabbit out of a hat. Now you see it, now you don't. Sleight of hand, doing the tricks, doing the whatever. Like, why am I seeing these things. Of course, I go to do a mini reading on the live stream and it gets juicy but like containable. And then now when I go to do a video, like, let me just do a video for the whole channel. Why not? This has interest. We have follow-up questions. Then it like really goes off the rails and I'm like, damn, you saved this for the public? We were just doing a small group of people on the live stream and then now you're unleashing all unholy hell on the public? Ugh, okay. Dare I ask for another one? Dude, planting seeds again. Oh my God. I cannot make this shit up. I cannot make this shit up. I cannot make this shit up. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm stuck in a loop here. I'm literally getting stuck in a verbal loop here. Usually my aliens card, but it came up as not aliens a while ago. Magic, magician, creating, some sort of illusions, planting seeds, that we just saw this about planting seeds. Are they trying to, whoever they are, this tiny, tiny, tiny few somewhere, so much so that nobody's basically allowed to know about this. Almost everybody's in the frickin' dark about this kind of thing. But there's some sort of few here that looks like this few may be an international few and have some sort of a independent contracted type of entities, agencies, organizations, etc. that are kind of responsible for what's going on here, but accountable to them. And there could be something at some point where it's like, yeah, we don't mind the fact that some people are wondering if this is ETs. We don't mind the fact if some people are wondering if this is aliens. Let them wonder. Let them wonder. Let's keep doing these illusions and stuff while they're wondering. Let's keep planting seeds. And then my nose itching, and again, what it said here, an itchy or bewitched nose. I don't consider myself a witch, but that's interesting. An itchy or bewitched nose is a positive spiritual sign. It indicates a presence of spiritual gifts such as wisdom, knowledge, faith, healing, ... And then also could mean a visitor coming, gossip, or talk about you. People gossiping or discussing you behind your back. Internal conflict. Again, people in the reverse position, as in a lot of people not knowing, so there's conflict even among the people not knowing, wanting certain people to give up on certain things or let go of certain things or stop working on certain things, wanting new things to kind of come up and out from this, like hoping that there's certain new things that will happen as a result of whatever this is. Judgment card. This is like, this feels like it's an iterative process building up to something. So I don't know if this one process will, like, that we're seeing now is going to keep building until it has some sort of a climax, or if it's like this one thing that's happening now is just one stepping stone, and then we're going to see more stepping stones and these things build up to be something ultimately over time. Good Lord, y'all. Good Lord. So that, I mean, all of this really answers that question too about, are they looking for WMDs / nuke / something radioactive? I have not seen anything like that in here at all. I have not seen anything in here like, oh, we're looking for something, like whether something is lost or hidden or whatever. Like, I've not seen anything that's like, oh, we're just looking for something, lost or hidden kind of thing. From what they're showing here relative to that question, it looks like something could be like looking for things or scouting things out, but it doesn't feel like that, because I'm not getting anything here that feels like weaponry or, something that is designed to do mass destruction, something as in people can be worrying. Yeah. So like, there could be something that is getting something people are worried about getting looked at or looked for, so yeah, I see that there could be concerns in whatever these things are looking at or looking for or designed to do or whatever. I can see those concerns here, but I'm not necessarily seeing like there's something lost or planted that they're trying to detect necessarily. It's not giving off that vibe here. And okay, well, yeah, there's something more emotional about what this is geared towards, and the government, our institutions and governments card. Y'all. And this is something that's gonna be slow moving, and something that people will continue to not really know or understand for quite some time. Things barely leaking out, conjecture, etc., as we saw. The original reading said, take it as a grain of salt, whatever the official statement comes. The official statement came, you saw it, you heard it. We know why now we needed to take that with a grain of salt, because who the hell is believing that? My nose is itching up a storm. This has been wild. I've been going for too long, y'all. I've been going for way too long. There's a lot here. We may end up having some sort of updates, whether it's updates specifically about drone stuff, or if there's other things that come up and out the woodwork that we need to kind of keep digging in to see what all is going on, whether it's whether it's something going on with this, or whether there's things that are going on like just with government or with military or with our politicians, or with our foreign partners or foreign adversaries, or international things. Like, it seems like there's probably going to be a lot of stuff to be looking into over time. This video, I'm sure, is forever and ever long, so if you've watched this video till the end, let's see, put whatever your favorite emoji is. If you're watching this all the way to the end right now, put whatever your favorite emoji is, because I'm always curious as to see what people's favorite is. Like, some people, my husband has the weirdest damn emojis. Like, he just uses weird stuff. And I'm like, why do you use stuff like that? I'm like, you're quiet weird. Like, I'm loud weird. He's quiet weird. He uses weird stuff. I want to know what y'all's favorite is. So whatever your little favorite emoji is, then share that in the chat if you're still here. And then also, for Shigs, I am gonna put a puppy b-roll here at the end so that everybody can have some lightness and laughter and smiles and whatever of innocent little puppy b-rolls juxtaposed after this complete and utter shit show of a dumpster fire that today has been here. And also, for people who are interested in having a private reading with me, you can book a private reading at BeasTalksAndTarot.com. There on my website, BeasTalksAndTarot.com, you can get private reading, Reiki Energy healing. You can get intuitive healing sessions, learning how to read the cards the way I read the cards with tarot tutoring. So all of that's available, BeasTalksAndTarot.com. And I even have a current sale going on for 20% off of all of those services. And that sale runs through December 31st of this year. So I will put that information in a pinned comment down below so that if you would like to take part of that sale, then have at it. It is right there. Happy to meet with any of y'all and help y'all out in any kind of a way, anywhere around the world. I do this internationally. So anyway, I'm going to try to do whatever cleansing and clearing I need to do to get the itching to stop and to cleanse my space from whatever the hell. And I guess I'll see some of y'all through my website, and I will see others of y'all back here around for another video. And don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. But let me... Bye, y'all. I was sitting here on the couch, and I heard breathing, and it freaked me out. Like, oh, is there a presence? And then I looked over on the couch, and, you know, the couch appears empty. Except for that. So, I guess it put itself in here. All right. Whatever, man. Whatever. I just did not expect to have breathing while I thought I was sitting on the couch by myself. Okay. Yes, you are being acknowledged. Yes.